If you're completely new to horse racing and you've just heard people talk about Betfair tips like it's some secret code, this is going to break it down in a simple, realistic way so you actually understand what's going on before you even think about placing anything. Horse racing looks fast and complicated on the surface, but once you understand how to read the basics, the patterns, and how people approach it on platforms like Betfair, it becomes a lot more about logic and less about guessing. First, you need to understand what horse racing betting actually is. You are not just picking a random horse because you like the name or the colour of the jockey's shirt. You are trying to predict which horse has the highest chance of finishing in a winning position based on data, form, conditions, and history. That sounds serious, but it really just means you're learning how to read information the same way experienced bettors do. Now, before anything else, the most important thing beginners need to understand is the concept of odds. Odds are basically the market's way of telling you how likely a horse is to win. A horse with low odds is considered a favourite, meaning many people and analysts expect it to perform well. A horse with higher odds is considered an underdog, meaning fewer people expect it to win, but if it does, the return is much higher. A lot of beginners make the mistake of always picking favourites or always chasing big odds. The truth is, neither approach works consistently on its own. The real skill is balance. When you open a race on a platform like Betfair, you'll usually see a list of horses with odds that move constantly. That movement is important. Odds change because people are betting in real time, and that tells you where the smart money might be going. If a horse starts at higher odds and slowly drops, it often means experienced bettors are backing it. That doesn't guarantee anything, but it's a signal worth paying attention to. Now let's talk about one of the most important things in horse racing: form. Form simply means how well a horse has been performing in recent races. You will often see numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, or letters like F or P next to a horse's name. These are not random. A 1 means the horse finished first in a race, a 2 means second, and so on. An F means the horse fell, and P often means it was pulled up or didn't finish strongly. Beginners should always start by looking at the last 3 to 5 races of a horse. Consistency matters more than one lucky win. But form alone is not enough. You also need to look at the distance of the race. Some horses are built for short sprints, while others are stronger in long-distance races. A horse that wins at 5 furlongs might struggle at 1 mile, and vice versa. If you ignore distance, you'll constantly pick horses that look good on paper but fail in reality. Another key factor is the ground condition, often called going. The track can be firm, good, soft or heavy depending on weather conditions. Some horses perform extremely well on soft ground but poorly on firm ground. Others are the opposite. This is where beginners usually miss big clues. A horse might look like a strong contender, but if the ground doesn't suit it, its chances drop significantly. Jockeys also matter more than most beginners think. A skilled jockey can make a huge difference in a race, especially in tightly contested finishes. Experienced jockeys understand pacing, positioning, and when to push the horse at the right moment. Sometimes, 2 horses with similar form can have completely different outcomes, simply because one is ridden by a more experienced jockey. Now let's talk about race type. Not all horse races are the same. Some are handicap races, where horses carry different weights to level the competition. Others are stakes races, where conditions are more balanced. In handicap races, weight becomes a major factor. A horse carrying extra weight will need more strength to perform at the same level as a lighter one. Beginners often overlook this, but professionals always consider it. One of the most useful beginner strategies is what people call value betting. This doesn't mean chasing random underdogs. It means identifying situations where the odds do not fully reflect a horse's real chance of winning. For example, if a horse has strong recent form, good ground preference, and a top jockey, but still has relatively high odds, that might represent value. Value betting is not about being right every time. It's about finding situations where the risk to reward ratio makes sense over time. Another thing you will notice on Betfair is that it works as an exchange, not a traditional bookmaker. That means you are betting against other people, not just the platform. This is why odds can sometimes be better or more flexible. It also means the market behaves differently. Big money placed by experienced bettors can shift odds quickly, and that movement itself becomes part of the information you analyse. A lot of beginners also get confused about each-way bets. An each-way bet is basically two bets in one for the horse to win and one for it to place in a top position. This is useful when you like a horse but aren't fully confident it will win. It reduces risk but also reduces profit. It's often used in races with many competitors where outcomes are less predictable. Another important mindset shift is understanding that horse racing is unpredictable by nature. Even the best analysis cannot guarantee results. Horses can stumble, weather can change, or a jockey can make a split-second decision that affects everything. This is why experienced bettors focus more on long-term thinking rather than short-term wins. One race doesn't define success. Patterns over many races do. If you want to think like a serious beginner moving into intermediate level, you should start building a simple routine before every race. First, check the recent form of each horse. Then check the distance suitability. Then look at ground conditions. After that, review jockey performance and weight. Finally, observe odds movement. This simple structure already puts you ahead of most casual bettors who only look at names or favourites. Another subtle but powerful tip is to avoid overcrowded opinions. When too many people are backing a single horse just because it's popular, the odds drop and value disappears. Sometimes the better opportunity is quietly sitting on a less popular horse that actually fits the conditions better. This is where patience and independent thinking matter more than following the crowd. It's also important to know when not to bet. Many experienced bettors skip races entirely if the data feels unclear or too evenly matched. There is no rule that says you must bet every race. In fact, forcing bets is one of the fastest ways beginners lose consistency. Waiting for clear opportunities is part of the discipline. Over time, you will start noticing patterns. Certain trainers perform well in specific race types. Some jockeys consistently win on certain tracks. Some horses improve dramatically after a break. These small details accumulate and give you an edge, but only if you pay attention consistently. At the end of the day, Betfair horse racing betting is less about luck than most people think, but more uncertain than beginners expect. The real goal is not to always win, but to make smarter decisions more often than not. That shift in thinking is what separates casual guessing from structured betting analysis. If you take anything from this, let it be this simple idea. Don't chase excitement, chase information. The more you understand the race, the less you rely on hope. And in horse racing, information is the only real advantage you have.